Today we'll be uh, continuing from where we left off. Just to recap, um, we are looking at um, uh, regular Spanish verbs part 3, and from what we have seen so far is that um, first of all, subject pronouns are not always required. Is because the verb endings can indicate who has performed the action. For instance, hablo, we know that the subject pronoun would be you. Yo, which means too familiar, which means you familiar. And that is the reason we don't need to explicitly mention the subject pronoun, right? So and but sometimes they're used for emphasis. So just like in this example, ella habla español y yo hablo inglés. So he speaks Spanish and I speak English. So there's no ambiguity with respect to hablo, and so it's just adding adding emphasis. And another example of using subject pronouns for emphasis would be yo como pan y tú comes arroz. So once again, there is no ambiguity. The pronouns emphasize the contrast. I eat bread and you eat rice. It is possible to use two verbs in a row. Just like in English, the first verb is conjugated while the second verb remains in the infinitive form. So let's look at this. Necesito hablar con Alfredo. I need to speak with Alfredo. So we have necesitar and hablar. Both are AR verbs. And okay, so the first verb is conjugated while the second verb remains in the infinitive form. So the first verb is conjugated in the sense that if you look at necesitar as the regular form, right, which is an AR form or an AR verb, and in terms of conjugation, we know that we drop the ending and then add something to it. So in this case, we drop AR, which is the ending, and then since we're looking at yo from the perspective of I, and anything with 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 yo in terms of subject verb uh, conjugation, you'll add an o, right, irrespective of the form of the verb. So that's why you're adding an o, necesito. So that's why they're saying it's conjugated. And the second verb is in its infinitive form, so like to speak. So it's not conjugated. So it's possible to use two verbs in a row, just like in English. The first verb is conjugated, while the second verb remains in infinitive form. So I need to speak with Alfredo. Necesito hablar con Alfredo. I need to speak, so an infinitive, with Alfredo. So alright, so another example of two verbs used together. Decides vivir en España. So vivir is in its infinitive form. Decides is derived from decir, and is it's derived from the conjugation of to, because if you remember, with to we add as or es. So as for AR verbs, es for ER or IR verbs. In this case, we know that it's an AR verb, and just like always, we drop the ending of the verb. So in this case, it's AR, so we drop it, and then it becomes DESE, and we know that in terms of conjugation with to, we'll add an AS to it, so it'll be DESEAS. That's how it is. The CS, vivir. This remains in its infinitive form. This is conjugated. The first verb is conjugated. The second verb remains in its infinitive form, and that's how it is. So decides vivir en España. You wish to live in Spain. And it's again, they are reinforcing it. So decides vivir en España. You wish to live in Spain. Alright, so okay, so in the next video we'll be continuing with this section. So until then, see you next time.